Yo, what is up, my Knights of the Round Table? Welcome back to Music Night with the Knight. We got another below battle. A very well-armed one, and it's going to be quite the arms race. Because those of these guys are very well-armed. This is General Grievous. I can't do a good General Grievous, but one of my favorite characters from Star Wars. Versus Doc Ock. One of the best Spider-Man villains. One of my favorites. Definitely in my top 5. This is requested by Terry NetUsual. Am I saying that right? Because Google pronunciation has been very finicky lately, and I want to make sure I say everybody's name correctly. So, am I saying that right? If not, please let me know the correct pronunciation in the comments. So, Terry, here you go. Doc Ock versus General Grievous. This will make a fine addition to my collection. If you guys don't know, I love Star Wars. I'm a big Star Wars guy. I'm also a big comic book geek. I'm wearing a fucking Maximum Carnage t-shirt right now. Big Spider-Man fan. Like, Spider-Man's my all-time favorite superhero. So just to give you a little background here, I'm gonna be neutral because I love Star Wars and comic books equally. Like, they're both my first loves. I was 4 years old when my parents took me to see Revenge of the Sith. That came out of May, I think, 2005. I would have been 4 years old because my birthday's not until October, so I would have been 4 years old. And seeing episode 3 at 4 in a theater was fucking mind-blowing. Like, the opening scene where they're in space dogfighting and you hear the Grievous is coughing, and later he gets the fucking arms and he does the spinning move. Like, episode 3 is always going to be my favorite Star Wars movie. It's going to be the thing that made me love Star Wars because it was my first introduction and it was also my first theater experience, so it's extra special to me. So, but comic books was also my first love right around that time. I remember watching, Batman and Spider-Man on TV. So, I can't choose. We're going to let the battle decide who won. Got some water. I was trained in your Jedi arts by Count Dooku. I wish I could do a good Grievous impression. Jedi scum. I can't do it. A hentai Zeus? Oh no, not hentai. To attack. Yeah, he wiped out the fucking Night Sisters. Walker's defeat, okay. Ego, you jack off.
You're in the presence of Otto Octavius.
Okay.
So many flaws with you, the variety of this are miscellaneous.
Well, okay, he's gonna be more methodical.
Your words do not faze me. You are no match of my intellect. I'll leave you dead like a dead George Stacy. Found the Sinister Six while you're just a joint to
He did!
You fire with rage, no match of my genius. I'll leave you looking more hideous. Alfred Molina has pleased me twice. You know I be selling the tickets. Show you my clone was, but in the movies you only have 5 minutes.
Hey, he had a good part.
Stick my arm through your Kali's heart, rip it out and crush your Kali Ma.
Kali Ma, your Kali's heart, Kali Ma. Ooh! He did! He done it a lot. Yeah, that looks like me. You are doomed.
You want to talk, you help force sabers and Nobi beat you.
One. I was rebuttaling your lungs. Not superior, Spider-Man. Inferior.
Smarter the better, I'm always thinking of the many steps ahead. I humiliate a Stark and I'm gonna leave a mark on the world even after I'm dead.
He did.
You're slowly being forgotten. Star Wars ain't giving you plans. I spit with sun, and you just got crushed
in the palm of my hand. Hyper Jacob was great as Grievous. That's such a good impression. Velo is a very good Alfred Molina, Doc. Apologies if the audio sounded a little low, but that's on my end too. Like the voices were low, and I think it might have been just my speakers though. Like I've said it before, my speakers, they were bought for like $40 at Walmart, so I don't expect much out of them. I'm just glad they made it as long as they have. These are the same speakers I've used since 2019. Had them a while. Okay, so I ain't got a winner yet. We're gonna do a breakdown. We respect the bars. Stepping to Grievous. That's egregious. Let me make sure I have the correct meaning of egregious, because I think I got it. I think. Yes, okay, I was right. It's outstandingly bad. It's shocking. It's not a good. Basically saying it's a bad idea. It's basically saying stepping to Grievous is a bad idea. I know in hell I believe that a scientist or potential hentai enthusiast. I don't think I want to explain what hentai is. I don't think I want to go down that rabbit hole, because I try to block it out of my mind. But if you're curious and you're over 18, Google what hentai means and how it relates to Doc Ock. I'll give you a minute. Alright, you're back? Alright, I'm not paying for therapy. I can't do it. But, that's a pretty mean diss calling him a hentai enthusiast because he's got the tentacles. That's a pretty mean diss. Pretty funny, too. That's far more prestigious matchup to a villain that's far more prestigious, prestigious. Prestigious means a higher caliber, a higher tier, I believe. It's a higher caliber. He's basically saying he's a higher caliber villain. Doc Ock, that's poppycock. That's poppycock means. I think that means. I think that means buffoonery. I think. I want to say that means buffoonery. Yeah, nonsense, buffoonery. Yeah, nonsense and buffoonery are the same thing. I'll rock and shock and knock your block off. I love that little flow. I'll rock and shock and knock your block off. Slice your limbs to where you can't walk. Okay, he's gonna take. He has 8 of them, including the tentacles you program to talk. That's a reference to the Spider-Man Raimi-verse, where the tentacles have like an AI thing. I don't think that was in the comics, at least not in the early ones. Like I have the early Ditko ones, and I don't remember that being a thing. They responded to his brain. Yes, Otto was bullied at school, and he was abused by his dad. Yeah, and your father shamed you for not fighting back. Yeah, his father was a dick. He's going for Ock's past here. He's basically saying, look, you were bullied at school, your father was ashamed of you. Well, I have an endless thing of ships and droids. Why would you even try to attack? He's flexing on him now. He's belittling him. He's like, look, you were bullied at school and your father was ashamed of you. Why would you attack me? Got some dust over there. Like the Night Sisters, I'm taking you off the board. So, Grievous pretty much wiped out the Night Sisters. If you guys have played Jedi Fallen Order, there's a scene where Cal Kestis meets Mirian. I think, yeah, Mirian. She is a Night Sister, and she's like one of the last few remaining ones, if not the only remaining one, because Grievous kind of wiped them the fuck out. Grievous hated the Jedi, and by extension, he hated the Night Sisters. Because they kind of use the Force, too. Night Sisters use, like, a very dark, magic-type version of the... It's confusing. They're kind of Force users, but kind of not. But, yeah, Grievous pretty much wiped the Night Sisters off the map. He fucked them over. He slaughtered them. He ordered 66 their asses. One of the brilliant minds living in the shadow of Osborn. This is a reference to other media like Spider-Man PS4, which is what this is from. Ultimate Spider-Man, the cartoon, where Otto is living in the shadow of Osborn and he hates it. Our Spectacular Spider-Man also did this. Got a lot of firepower on the mic. You know that I pack heat. Hey, didn't you also die from the heat there, Grievous? I'll fry you more than the chip on the back of your neck. That's a reference to Spider-Man 2, the Raimiverse. Basically how the tentacles started controlling or influencing Doc Ock's mind. Because they're not really controlling him, they're more influencing him. He had a prohibiting chip in the back of his neck that kept them out of his brain. But when the experiment went awry, it fried the chip, allowing them access. Like Skywalker's defeat, Anakin Skywalker, my favorite Star Wars character. I love Darth Vader's my favorite Sith. Anakin's my favorite Jedi. That's my fucking boy. And you're doing him dirty, Grievous. Okay, so Anakin kind of got... He battled on Mustafar, which is a lava planet, and he kind of got dissected by the limbs, and he kind of got burned. Pretty bad. I'm talking third, maybe even fucking fourth degree burns. There's not even no such thing as fourth degree, but look at Anakin's face. You might start believing otherwise. Anakin got burned really, really bad. And that's basically what he's saying is he's going to burn Otto like that. He's going to burn him like Skywalker's defeat. Fun fact, to make sure they kept it canon to the movie, because in Star Wars Episode 3, when Grievous and Anakin meet, Anakin Skywalker, I expected somebody with your reputation to be more older. General Grievous, you're shorter than I expected. So this implies that Grievous and Anakin never met face to face. And they had to do 7 seasons of Clone Wars around that, so Anakin and Grievous could never be in the same place at once, or at least see each other. Making their meeting in Episode 3 still canon, that way they've not seen each other. That was a hard... Everybody... Hats off to Dave Filoni, because that was fucking hard. Sorry, I had a nerd out there. Your work turned you into a certified whack job. That's both true for the comics and the movies. Because in the comics, it was kind of referenced that the explosion that bonded the tentacles to him kind of made him a little cuckoo. Your biggest breakthrough was the arms. That was pretty much the height of his achievement. Well, that and switching brains. Not switching brains per se, but... He inhabited Peter's body for a spell. The Superior Spider-Man art. All it did was stroke your ego, you jack off. You know, if you stroke your jack off, you know, stroking, jack off, masturbation, you get it. But stroking your ego, Doc Ock has a fucking outrageous ego. He is very full of himself. He thinks himself as a superior mind of everybody. So he's basically saying that Grievous is basically saying that Ock built those 4 arms so he could stroke his ego.
Hello there.
Hello, Peter. Dude, I remember watching that trailer. I think I did. Yeah, I did a reaction to that trailer, and that I've never been more excited for a movie in my life, because seeing all the Spider-Man, live-action Spider-Man on the big screen was my dream, and I never thought it would happen. And that's why even though people love Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse more, No Way Home will always be special to me because they gave me that childhood dream.
You're in the presence of...
I'm sorry that I'm going off so many tangents here, but you kind of expect it with my reactions. You know, my ADHD ass, I'm going to go on different subjects while maintaining relevance to what I'm reacting to. But I like to give you guys little snippets of me. But I don't know if I should do it during reactions. I don't know, it feels rude. It feels rude to do it when I'm reacting to somebody's stuff.
Octavius, there were so many flaws with you, the variety of this is on me.
There's so many variety of flaws with you. The variety of disses are miscellaneous. Basically saying there weren't a lot of disses, even though there was. There, Otto, he was on your ass. Miscellaneous. I think miscellaneous means forgettable or not important, like junk. I want to say that's what that means. Okay, it's meaning different elements, various elements, varied things. It could be junk, could be a lot of things. I was just making sure.
Miscellaneous. I'm brilliant, but not late.
Okay, I'm brilliant but not lazy. Spider-Man 2, when he meets Peter Parker, he says, Peter Parker, brilliant but very lazy. Because they don't know that Peter's also Spider-Man, so they think he's just lazy when he fails classes because he's smart. So if he's not passing, that means he's not trying. So he took that quote and he's flipped it to build up himself. I'm brilliant but not lazy.
Easy. Your words did not faze me.
Your words did not faze me. They do not bother me.
You are no match for my intellect. I'll leave you dead like a...
You're no match for my intellect. I'll leave you dead like I did George Stacy. Yes, I'm pretty sure Otto Octavius killed George Stacy in the comics. I think he did. I think at least in the original he did. The thing with Marvel is they rewrite and retcon a lot of shit. A lot. Like, especially if it comes to Spider-Man, like a lot of shit with Norman Osborn's retconned a lot.
George Stacy. Founded the Sinister Six.
Yes, Doc Ock was the founder and de facto leader of the Sinister Six in multiple incarnations. He is pretty much the main leader if they have one.
Well, you're just a joint to puppet the city.
Okay, he's flexing on him. He's like, he's now he's belittling him. He's like, all right, I'm a leader of the Sinister Six. I'm a leader, not a follower. You're just a droid that's a puppet to Sidious. You know, you're Dooku's lackey. You're Sidious's lackey. You're not a leader. I'm a leader.
Yes, you fight with rage, no match for my genius.
Yeah, he does fight with rage.
Yes, I'll leave you looking more hideous.
Also, I want to call out that Grievous was a little bit of a hypocrite, because not only did Anakin get burned, Grievous, you were caught in an explosion, my friend. That's why you're in that fucking droid shell.
Alfred Molina has players between...
Yes, he has played him twice. Spider-Man 2 and No Way Home. Alfred Molina is a great Doc Ock.
Twice, you know I be selling the tickets.
Yeah?
Sure you got Clone Wars, but in the movies you...
Sure you have Clone Wars, but in the movies you only have 5 minutes, referencing the fact the original Clone Wars series, Grievous had more screen time, and in the actual Clone Wars series, he had a lot more screen time. While in the movies he wasn't that, and while in the debut movie he wasn't really that big of a thing, because that was, number one, was his debut, and he only had like 7 minutes of screen time.
Only have 5 minutes. Dooku push you as general.
Yes, he was the general of the droid army, or the general of the Separatists.
Only less fleets for all he...
And less fleets were all he got. Yeah, Grievous. Well, Grievous was a good and bad general. He was kind of both.
Got it. Stick my
He did kill Jedi. He did do something good.
arm through your college heart.
Stick my arm through your Kalish heart, rip it out and crush it. Kali Ma. I think Kalish. I think that is the canon name of General Grievous' species. I think. Like I said, Disney's also bad to retcon shit with Star Wars. Like, a lot of legends got pretty much non-canonized. But if I remember correctly, Kalish was the name of General Grievous' species. But I could be wrong. It's been a while since I've read those books. It's been a bit. Kali Ma, that's a reference to Indiana Jones 3, Temple of Doom. The guy would rip out your heart, you know, Kali Ma. Kali Ma! So Grievous, Ock's gonna shove his tentacle through his chest, rip his heart out, crush it, Kali Ma. He's gonna rip his heart out.
Rip it out and crush it, Kali
And he's flipping Kalish to Kali Ma.
Ma.
Great wordplay.
I'm so mischievous and villainous, no for the shit and...
I'm so mischievous and villainous, no Sith has shit on this. No Sith. Even though General Grievous is not a Sith, he does not classify as a Sith. He does not use the Force. He is not trained in the dark side. He was trained in lightsaber dueling, but he was not trained in the Force, so he does not qualify as a Sith. But I think Ock is more poking fun that Dooku was kind of like, Grievous was Dooku's lackey, and Dooku was a Sith. So, you know, he's kind of flexing. He's like, I'm mischievous, villainous, no Sith has shit on this, and he's flipping to shit and Sith, because if you flip, or if you replace, if you rearrange the letters of shit, you get Sith, and vice versa.
Yes, when it comes to droids battle.
When it comes to droids and battles,
At least R2.
at least R2 and C-3PO didn't abandon ship. So, R2-D2 and C-3PO have seen a lot of battles, canonically, and that's ironic, because C-3PO is a coward. They saw the Battle of Genosha, a lot of the Separatists and Republic battles, the Battle of Naboo. No, C-3PO wasn't there for that. R2 kind of was. Or yeah, R2 was, because he was with little Anakin when they were blowing up the Separatist ship. C-3PO was still on Tatooine at that time, but he was there for the Battle of Genosha, a lot of the Separatist versus Republic battles of the Clone Wars. He was in the Clone Wars, pretty much. So that's 2. I'm counting Clone Wars and the Separatist versus Republic, because that was the Clone Wars. So that's 2 battles. Then he was in a lot of the battles against the Empire. And then he was in there with the First Order and the Resistance. So that's 4 battles that he's seen. or 4 wars rather. He's been in a lot of battles. He's been in a lot more battles than General Grievous has. C-3PO and R2-D2 have been in a lot more battles and a lot more wars than General Grievous ever did. And he's poking fun that in Episode 3, Grievous abandons ship. Abandoned ship! He's basically saying, when it comes to droids and battles, at least C-3PO and R2-D2 didn't abandon ship. Grievous abandoned ship. But they didn't, and they're not even battle droids, really. Yeah, like I said, Grievous has a very hate boner for the Jedi. He hates them. Because Dooku lied to him and said the Jedi were responsible for blowing him up. Which they weren't. You're just like a Jedi, because that was a predictable diss. He's basically calling him predictable like the Jedi. And Grievous can't go 2 seconds without making it clear that he hates the Jedi. I never would have expected the time that you asked May's hand in marriage. Yes, Doc Ock has a weird thing for Aunt May. He's tried to marry her multiple times, and I think it was even implied he was attracted to her. So that made Superior Spider-Man very awkward. Because Peter had to see... Because like the way their minds worked is Doc Ock could see Peter's memories, but Peter could also see Doc Ock's. So he would see that Doc Ock has a thing for his aunt. Pretty awkward. But yes, it is canon that Doc Ock did try to trick Aunt May into marrying him a few times in comics. That's no bullshit. That is actually true. You can look it up. Yeah, he could have changed the world, but instead you ruined your life. That's referencing the Raimi, and this even comment Doc Ock, because he's smart, he was brilliant. He could have changed the world, but he ruined his life. You won't like it when I swing my sabers. They cut you like the glass that killed your wife. This is a reference to Spider-Man 2 with Rosie, his wife. The experiment that he was a part of that melded the arms to him shattered the windows, and the falling glass killed his wife. Hulk took him down with a finger, yes. I think that was under his Joe Fixit identity, though. Yes, Reed Richards did beat him in seconds, but Reed Richards is like one of the smartest people in the Marvel Universe. Rip off your extra arms like Chewbacca. So this is a reference to Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. It's Han Solo mentions that Wookiees are sore losers. They're known to rip their arms off their opponent if they lose. So Grievous is like, okay, I'm going to do like Chewbacca, and I'm going to rip your extra arms off. And without them, you're a lot less threatening because he's just a guy. Army or not, you must realize you are doomed. That's General Grievous' one of his most famous lines, besides, this is a fine addition to my collection. Surely you realize you are doomed. That was one of his, that's probably his second most famous quote. So, you know, it's a little callback there. Referencing Dazzler and Angel of the X-Men. Dazzler is also a mutant, but I don't think she's ever an X-Men. She's kind of like a pop star. She's the Taylor Swift of Marvel. Yeah, he got defeated by lower class people. Well, not lower class people, but lower class powers. Because I don't think Dazzler's... Angel, all he fucking does is fly, I think. Then again, I don't read Angel's comics. I've only read a few X-Men comics. And I don't think Angel was in them because they weren't the originals. They were more of the recent stuff. And I don't think I read anything with Dazzler in it. So I could be wrong on that. Okay, he's rebutting. You're one to talk. You held 4 sabers, and Obi beat you with 1. So he's like, okay, you want to talk about my failures? Let's talk about yours. You got a 4v1 advantage, and you still choked.
Obi beat you with 1, and you're always going into coughing fits because Windu crushed.
You're always going into coughing fits because Windu crushed your lungs. I don't know if that's canon anymore. I think they decanonized that because that was the original Clone Wars series, which is not canon anymore. So, I think they said his reason he coughs so much is because the explosion damaged his lungs. Which, I like the idea that Windu crushed his lungs more. I think that gave, you know, Grievous more of a vendetta with the Jedi. This is a reference to the Superior Spider-Man where Doc Ock was Spider-Man for a while. A Superior Spider-Man. And not the Gonk. A Gonk droid's pretty much useless. Just look up what a Gonk droid is. They're inferior droids.
I'm a master planner, smarter than Banner.
I'm a master planner, smarter than Banner. He's basically saying he's smarter than Bruce Banner, aka the Hulk. He's a master planner.
Was thinking that a man slips ahead. I humiliated.
Yes, Doc Ock did humiliate Tony Stark once. That is very true. He did demasculate him. He fucking outsmarted him.
Stark, and I'm gonna leave a mark on the world even after I'm dead.
Yeah, even when Ock's dead, he's remembered as one of the Spider-Man's greatest foes.
Meanwhile, you're slowly being forgotten. Star Wars ain't giving you.
They're not giving Grievous a lot of shine, and it's sad because I think Grievous is such a cool character that you can do a lot with.
Plans. I spit with the power of the sun, and you just got crushed in the palm.
My hand. So this is a reference to Spider-Man 2. The power of the sun in the palm of my hand. That was what Otto wanted. He wanted to make a fusion. He wanted to make clean energy with the power of the sun.
On my hand.
So I got the power of the sun, and I crushed you with the palm of my hand. He's flipping his saying. I'm sorry this is probably such a long battle. I kind of got sidetracked a little bit and over-explained a few things, but that's just because I love the material. I love comic books, I love Star Wars, and I love doing reactions, so I love explaining some of this to you guys. So I hope you guys wouldn't just like, oh man, this dude shut the fuck up and get on with the battle. I hope you guys enjoyed what I had to say, because I enjoyed the battle. Absolute 10 out of 10. It's hard to make a Grievous battle work because, like Doc Ock said, they don't do a lot with Grievous. He has episode 3 in Clone Wars that are canon, and a few books that are canon. That's it. There's not a lot to draw from. So doing any Grievous battle is hard, but putting him against another armed opponent like Doc Ock is fucking pure genius. So 10 out of 10 battle. Who do I think won? I honestly think we have a tie. I don't think neither one really lost a round. I think they both kind of traded disses and shots back and forth. I don't think either one really ever picked up a win in any particular round. I think they both really held their ground throughout the whole battle. So right now, I'm going to give it a tie. So I'm going to try to wrap this up because this video is probably 30 minutes, 40 minutes long. Thank you guys so much for watching. Go check out Below. Go check out Hyper Jacob. They have tons of great content, and Below has tons of great battles and songs, ciphers, a lot of cool shit to check out. Trust me, it's amazing. You'll thank me later. So go check them out. Go show them some love. Let me know who you guys thought won in the comments below. And as always, I'll see you! Ha ha! This will make a fine addition to my collection in the next one.